YouTube, another exciting Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns tonight, bringing you the first movie from James Cameron in his Terminator franchise. And what a franchise, ups and downs it has been. But Terminator 1 was always probably one of my favorite of the movies. And just a few facts here that we can glom. That movie cost $6.4 million to make, and it grossed $78 million in this country. So it had a really fantastic opening. And both Stallone and Gibson was planned to be, asked to be the Terminator and turned down the roads before they moved to Arnold Schwarzenegger. I think you'll agree that Arnie was the right choice. One thing that was interesting was you'll notice in the credits of the movie, there's acknowledgement to the works of Harlan Ellison, the great sci-fi writer, and that's because Harlan Ellison sued James Cameron and Gale Ann Hurd, who said he said the movie came to him in a fever dream when he was making Piranha 2. I'm sure there's some truth to that. It also bears a lot of resemblance to two scripts that Ellison wrote for the 1963 original sci-fi series Outer Limits, both The Demon with the Glass Hand and Soldier. If you mishmashed them two together, he came up with a pretty close approximation of what the Terminator kind of came out to be. So they had to pay Ellison an undisclosed amount of money for that fact. But it grew and moved into its own territory and became something all its own. So tonight we're going to bring in the panel. Before we get going here, we have Steph. How you doing, Steph? And you're muted, Steph.
Never fails. What
at least I hit the live button, you hit the mute button. Shit happens, you know what I mean? So Link wanted to join. Everybody jumped to the chance when I said, "You're doing Terminator."
Get right.
Come on. God, come
classic.
On. Fable is here. How you doing, Fable?
What is going on?
He heard we were doing Terminator tonight, and he wanted to jump in here. And somebody's having his own epiphany when it comes to the Terminator franchise. Just eating up that Sarah Connor Chronicles. My man Perry.
It is the greatest.
At least it's a good
content around Terminator.
Even though he'd probably rather eat up Sarah Connor herself.
So glad you guys are diving into
Summer Glau.
She's a MILF. Yeah, Summer Glau is hot too. So that show had a couple of hotties in the lead there.
Yo, it's real quick. It's crazy. I didn't know that about Terminator, that they had to pay another, because it's similar to what happened with The Matrix. I don't know if you guys heard about that. This lady actually came up with like a very similar concept, and the Wachowskis actually had to pay her for like something. So that shows there's some truth that they kind of. It's just curious to see how many.
Cameron was a huge sci-fi fan, and
right.
I'm sure that he watched Twilight Zone, Outer Limits when he was a kid. I'm sure these things were in his head. So I won't I plagiarized, but a lot of the details
inspired
are very similar, so we had to pay. Watch those episodes. They're great episodes sometimes if you get a chance. But tonight we're here to talk about Terminator, and I watched this for the first time in a while, I think, the other night, and man, this movie still holds up. And the biggest thing that came to me when I was watching this movie is how much of, and even, if you read some of Cameron stuff, it was his intention, how much of a slasher movie this is.
Right?
Became more of a sci-fi franchise after the second one, but it was down and dirty slasher. Now, obviously, there's a lot of sci-fi to it. But the ending of this movie, they just cribbed for, Christmas, Bloody Christmas, came right out of the ending of this movie. And she's the final girl, and it's really a slasher movie, right? With a friend getting killed. There's some decent, really gory kills, violent kills. It's also it's a Harlequin romance movie. It's a chick flick. It really is. I think the love story in this movie, it's a slasher group with a romance thriller. And I really think that's why it became so popular. And
I like sorry.
And the elements of that is pretty deep. The romantic stuff is really good. I mean, the scenes where they're together really felt genuine, and they had chemistry. and that's why
You believed it when,
believed
even
it,
though
yeah.
realistically these people had
Right.
only known each other for like a few days. Like their love felt like they grew a quick bond. It was very believable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so, and I think that's what really made the movie click. And you're going to see when it gets into the second one, then they start getting into the, not that it didn't have a lot of action, but a lot more action,
Oh yeah.
physical action. No one did CGI before Terminator 2, and they knocked out of the park. The only CGI.
Do you know the budget for T2? Because I was
do
blown
not.
away
It's not,
backstage.
it's not that high though.
$6 million though for T1. That blew my mind.
It's a low
That
budget movie, yeah.
Yeah, so low budget.
Yeah, very, very a lot of prosthetics, a lot of puppetry, a lot of stop motion animation. I think
animatronics.
Animatronics.
Yeah,
Phil Tippett, who did the stuff in RoboCop 1 and 2, did the animatronic stuff for this and the stop motion stuff for this.
That's
why it was so good. Yeah.
There are some stuff that makes you cringe. I talked to you about that earlier. That scene where he's digging the bullet out and he's taking his eye out in the mirror. Yeah. That looks pretty rough.
And then it cuts to him, like actually Arnold. I'm like, those are two different people.
Yeah,
I think that kind of helped like make it a smoother transition. But in '84, this had to be mind blowing. I still respect it.
Another movie that did the same thing was if you watch Total Recall, where they have Arnold in that mask and Arnold with the face stuff, and then but that was '84, '83. They did the best they could, especially with a $6 million budget.
It came across as like when I was a kid, because I saw this when I was a kid, like little kid, and when that scene happened, instead of looking fake, it more came across to me as if, he's revealed now as a
he's
robot.
A true robot,
like,
right?
He's you know what I mean? So that's why his skin looked different, and
the whole time I was watching it, I was like, "There's something wrong with Arnold." Like, something looks weird. He doesn't even got no eyebrows on.
Yeah,
what's going on?
They kind of like half-weighed him, so he started that transition. They also made that you notice when he gets his legs screwed up, Arnold's walking with a limp through the movie, and then the robot at the end's walking with the limp too, because after he comes out of the truck there. Right. So they sold it pretty well. And I think this is probably had the same type of thing at the end where they had the 3 or 4 different he's dead, no he's not scenes, that a slasher movie would have. Right. So definitely slasher inspired. And somebody that knows a lot about slasher movies, Dylan from Dylan's Horror Show. How you doing, Dylan?
What up, dude?
Dylan.
So we're kind of talking about a little bit about the essence of the movie is kind of like a combination between a slasher movie and a romantic chick flick, which is really what it was. And
it's like Drive. Drive's a romance movie.
And another thing I think this movie had going for it, besides everything we discussed so far, is a kicking soundtrack. The soundtrack by Brad Fiedel is phenomenal. It's synthetic when it has to be with the synthesizers. It's action filled.
Dreadful. It brings a nice story.
It's soulful and hopeful. The one of my favorite scenes we'll talk about later on. Just the overall theme, that love theme at the end that they still use for the TV series. Just the whole Terminator theme is fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful theme. It's one of the best.
Did you guys notice when when Sarah and Kyle finally, they make love and they start playing that? Is that the song you're talking about? But it's just piano. Yes. Right. Yeah. Yes. That was dope.
Version,
yeah. Yeah. So the guy went from synthesizer, piano, he the whole spectrum. I mean, this whole every part of this movie, the soundtrack is just kicking.
He gives Carpenter a run for his money. For sure.
Bro, tell me about the scene in the police station scene where Terminator comes to get her. There's like dun, 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 dun. It's the synthesizers he was using for that reminded me of like some Daft Punk stuff. I was really blown away.
That's such a good scene. The cop's like, "There's 30 officers here. Don't worry." 1 minute later, everybody's dead.
They're like grabbing guns.
The other thing I found out, the other thing I really noticed for the first time is I watched the deleted scenes. This movie had a lot cut out of it, and Paul Winfield, who plays the cop, had most of his scenes cut out. He's a great actor, and all his old arc and some stuff with Henry Flynn was cut out. They cut out some scenes between Reese and Sarah Connor, where they're planning to do things. But you know what? Every single one of those scenes that they cut out, I agreed with. It would have slowed down the movie.
It's a tighter film.
It's such a tight film at the running time, and every one of those scenes, while they're good, they add a lot to it, and they even bring in like some Cyberdyne stuff, which you'll see in the next film. It made it so much better that they weren't in there. So, all right. So before we get going here, Notastic News. He came in early. Two Gun Pedro, how you doing? Roll Collecting's in the chat. Who else we have? Kenneth Bird's in the chat. How you doing, Kenneth? Evan, how you doing? Thanks for coming in. So so this is this was a great rewatch. And I may even rewatch this again. I'd like to sit down and watch the first two movies again. And then maybe selectively pick from the other ones as they.
How do you guys think? I was thinking about that. Do you think there's a way you could watch all of them and retroactively connect them to each other? Like from after T2, go to like maybe.
It'd be hard because when he came back to the series, and I didn't even see Dark Fate and some of that, but a couple of those movies, Genesis and Dark Fate, he just forgot about T3. It wasn't even in there. They retroactive a lot of that stuff.
Oh, that's not cool.
Now, you know how there's Dark Fate was the one that had Jai Courtney was playing Kyle Reese, I think, and
I think so.
Daenerys was playing Sarah Connor, or from Game of Thrones. Came out like 2015, 2016.
I think it's Genesis.
That's Genesis. Dark Fate is the newest one from it had the chick Terminator.
Yeah, Dark Fate's the one
with the blonde hair.
Linda Hamilton came back.
Yep.
And
that one was probably the worst.
I haven't seen that one yet. So yeah, it's a series that definitely didn't get better as it went on. I kind of like Terminator Salvation, the one with Kristen Bale. I thought that was an okay one.
That
was a good spin because they took it to a different part of the timeline, so I was okay with that.
But I think after that, it kind of just went out the window. So, all right, so Link, let's talk about what you think about rewatching this and your impressions.
I really enjoy this movie. I saw this movie a long time ago. I was a kid when I seen it, but I had seen Terminator 2 first. So when I saw this movie, I was really thrown off by how scary, because it's kind of like a kick-ass. The second one's kick-ass sci-fi film. He's a hero. He has a lot of badass moments. So in the first one, I'm like, why is he hunting everyone down? Why is this shit so scary? Like, bro, I was like, this. He's stalking them.
Get into is the fact that they did. He went 180 degrees and he made the villain the hero.
I love that, by the way. That's such an
that was great.
Interesting.
That's what I think he had to do. He could have done another one with Schwarzenegger as the Terminator. So but anyway, so go ahead.
But long story short, I appreciate this more. I didn't hate it, but it was so thrown off just because it left me feeling so disturbed as a kid, because I was used to seeing Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, as a hero, that to see him be this stalking murderer, and I love that about the first film is that as a first time view, I wish I might have seen this as an older adult first, because I think it was lost on me as a kid. Throughout most of the movie, he's just you just think he's some weirdo from the future. You don't necessarily know he's a robot, right? Like he's just stalking people and killing them like a slasher. So the reveal when he's finally a robot, it's just like, what the shit? Like what? Like it takes the movie in a whole different direction at that point. But I've grown to love this movie over the years, and I respect it even more now. Like I watched it last night, and then I watched it today before the show. And I enjoy both viewings. I haven't done that with a movie in a long time, and I just respect a lot about this movie.
I did the same thing.
You wouldn't have Terminator 2. You can watch it on its own, but you almost can't. Like
it stands alone pretty well, I think. But yeah, you kind of
the epicness of that, I feel, was you can't, like, this was all started with this small movie, and the fact that it started with like a $6 million budget, and like I didn't know that until you just said that a few minutes ago. That's mind blowing that it made almost like $80 million, 90 million,
78 million in this country at least. So it did pretty
in the 80s. That's crazy.
Yeah, so, it was up against Poltergeist and a bunch of other stuff that came out at the same time. So
I think it's like James Cameron's, even though it's his first, so of course that it might be the reason for this, but I think it's his most unique film. Like you can see the little.
Well, it's his first Terminator film. It's definitely not his first film. I mean, Piranha. He had those low budget Roger Corman Piranha flicks and a bunch of other things first.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not
low budget though, super low budget. This is another line in the low budget until he made
Right, but this one actually
Aliens
became a hit and
Aliens
allowed
was
him
it.
to do
When
the
he
rest
did
of it.
Aliens,
Right.
Blockbuster, he was off to the
Wait,
races.
wait,
after
Aliens was before this?
that.
Aliens was after this.
Oh, after. Okay. So this and then Aliens, and he
Yeah,
was
then
just
it was
in
off
the
to the
races.
races. Yeah.
Okay. But I love this film. I think it's very. I like it because it's unique. It's you don't really see too many. Like you could definitely say it's a sci-fi film, but you could say it's a horror film as well. It's
Oh, yeah,
a horror
definitely.
film with a sci-fi tinge.
Yeah, I mean, and
So-
Alien, the regular Alien, the first Alien movie was a similar type of thing. It
This
could be
Yeah.
one's
on
way
both
more
levels.
horror than the second, obviously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but this is
I love
very
it.
slasherific. Very the roots of slasher.
A lot of slasher tones
runs into
to the
this.
music.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh,
when
yeah.
he's coming, just when he's coming for, them, like you just get straight
Like a stalker.
stalker Jason vibes from this.
Yep.
But I mean, Arnold, bro, is just scary. Because we was talking, and I know Steph said, like, I saw T2 first, and I was
A lot of
such
people
big
did, yeah.
fan of like T2, and then maybe T3 came out, and then I got the PSP, and my dad got me a copy of the movie of Terminator on that, and I was like, what? I was like, I didn't even think. I just thought maybe T2 was like just the name,
A
because,
abbreviation of something.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that was
Yeah.
even the
Gotcha.
second one. I just thought that was the first one, So I watched that. I was like, holy shit, bro! Like this is a total different vibe.
That's
bro.
interesting.
He
Hearing
said,
this,
"Holy
this from
shit,
you guys.
titties!"
I was seeing
It's cool,
T2
it's
first.
cool.
It was
Like I said,
scary. It was like
T2
a little
it's
scary
cool.
too, because I mean I was probably like 10 watching it, 8 to 10. I mean,
Yep,
whenever I'd
same
have
here.
to see what year the PSPs came out. It was like a year or two, maybe after it. I remember the PSP was a huge thing I wanted.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I remember like straight up I was just in love with 2 and 3. Even though I know 3 is not the greatest, but I just you know how when you're a kid, 3 was still
Yeah.
kind of cheesy.
That was the only one I've ever seen. I loved it. I loved it.
yeah,
3 wasn't
Right,
bad.
we're
That was a
into it.
cool one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so 1, bro, just totally blew me back, bro. And I was like, this shit is freaky, bro.
Well, the
was-
stuff,
Yeah,
I
right?
think the thing,
it was scary, bro.
it was scary
Yeah.
not, but even the flash of heads when they show what is
Oh, in the
happening
future?
in the future.
Yeah.
That shit's scary with the
I
skulls
love those
flipping over.
I love the grittiness of that, and then like
Yeah.
for '84, man, like James, like you guys said earlier, James Cameron's always been ahead of his
Dude,
time at
A
the
lot of
time.
people
Like,
forget, man, that he worked with Roger Corman to
Right,
get
yeah, Roger
his
Corman, yeah.
success.
that, yeah, I did
So
not
he
know
kinda
that,
got
bro.
his
Yeah.
fame,
That's
like
where he got his
before
start,
that,
yeah.
in like the horror business. So it really
Oh yeah,
makes
like
sense
Death
for
Race
him to kind
2000,
of take
all
that background and then
Right.
kind of go into. I mean,
And-
Roger Corman was big for horror and sci-fi, so he took
But
the
you know
2
what?
biggest things.
I think what he got from Roger Corman, which I absolutely love, is that I don't think James Cameron gives a shit about film history. I think he just makes what he thinks people are
Yeah.
gonna like
Yeah.
entertainment, and
Well, now
fuck the art of it.
but
But that being said, he's damn good at it too. Like,
no, what he got
you
from
know, he
Roger
ends up
Corman,
being art to it.
what Roger Corman was known for
He's-
was always delivering a picture on or under budget for cheap money that did a lot in the box
James
office.
Cameron's good at that.
And that's exactly
He's
what he did with
always-
this movie.
I was
Yeah.
like James and Quentin. I always felt like, even though they're totally different styles, they're both kind of like they just want to put out movies that they want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Quentin always says that he's like, I make my movies for me and shit like
Right.
that. So just because he's
They're both master storytellers, bro.
Well,
Yeah.
right, and then
Yeah,
starting,
yeah,
in
it's crazy.
totally different ways, but
but
still.
then
Yeah,
starting
yeah.
with T2, he innovated every step of the way. T2 innovated with computer stuff, then the
Oh,
Abyss,
he's always
the
been
underwater stuff,
advancing
computer stuff,
Yeah.
Titanic. Every single one of his movies, he's brought some new
They
Even
push
technology.
this
forward.
movie here,
to it.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know
Avatar,
what camera he's
obviously.
using, but it's crisp as hell. Like
Yeah.
his shots are
Yeah.
crisp. It
Yes.
looks expensive. The cameras look expensive. Whatever he's
It's
filming
like
on.
$6 million. I don't see it in this
Yeah.
movie, bro.
Nah,
I don't see it.
I would've
What you-
thought, like,
Buckaroo
well,
Banzai had $15 million, bro. And I love Buckaroo
Damn.
Banzai, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
look at though, like
Dang.
Well, a lot of this stuff though too was stuff with cars, So a lot of
Right.
the car action
Yeah.
stuff isn't as expensive. But I was saying, you're getting fucking old when your sci-fi movies from the 80s have it show a future that's only like 3 years away from where you are now. 2029, the apocalypse. I go, fuck, it's 6 years from now, man. It seems so far away in 84.
You got a few years before Cyberdyne takes over,
Oh,
baby.
my God. All right, any more stuff?
No, I'm glad this was, I've never not loved it, but I haven't watched it in a while. And was very glad to rewatch it in the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
Great film.
I know Fable wants to talk about Schwarzenegger's schlong, so go ahead, Fable.
I never noticed his slong until now.
That's
Never
what
too much slong.
Bluray
Never.
brings
I noticed
enhances
it
the
a couple
slong.
years back, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
blocked it out.
shit, totally
I-
different.
I was like, how did I not notice that?
I edited it out of my memories, you know. It's like,
Probably scarred us as young bucks.
Yeah. So
but yeah,
go ahead, Fable.
Yeah. Well, I love this movie from top to bottom, from first frame to last frame. This movie informed my taste going forward. If you want to, like when you're a little kid and you're just watching whatever you're watching and whatever you're attracted to, this movie attracted me, right? So then from then on, science fiction was my thing. Action was my thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger was my thing. You know what I mean? I loved all of his films.
Oh, yeah.
I watched everything he did. This movie, it's a simple story, right? It's a simple
It is.
story,
It really is.
but it's so beautifully done.
And one
Shot
apparently
very
they stole.
well. Yeah. And to your point earlier, guys, this was totally a horror movie.
Yeah.
Like this was not considered science fiction, even though it has science fiction elements.
right.
This was totally a horror movie in the 80s. I could tell you that straight up. This was next to Nightmare on Elm Street, was
Right.
next to Alien, was next to In the Video Store. You know what I'm saying? This
Right.
was total horror. And one of the things about it too is it's epically violent. Like at that time, 84, I mean, he's taking a whole police station out. And that
Bro,
scene,
Yeah.
that scene was so graphic back in the mid 80s. Like it was big time like violence.
he
And
turns the
that's
corner, bro.
Yeah, that's what like as a kid and amongst my friends, that's what we remember this movie for, being scary
Right.
and super ultra violent.
Yeah, the police
Right?
station stuff reminded me of
Yeah.
Attack on Precinct 13, John Carpenter.
Mm.
Kind of gave me that
Yeah.
vibe.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
more crunchier vibe, but
yeah, it totally has those vibes for sure. Yeah, I think it holds up to today, totally.
Absolutely.
And it just shows that Cameron is a master at his craft. He was a master back then. He continues to be a master now. I mean, $2 billion on Avatar is none.
I mean, this
I
is
laugh
still
at.
the best, easily.
I'd like to make the joke that James Cameron had the highest grossing box office movie for 10 years, and then the only person to beat him was himself with Avatar.
And Infinity or Endgame is like number 2 right now. So that's
Yeah.
the only thing that's ever come close.
Look how many movies it took them. I mean, no, I love Marvel, but
Exactly.
I'm just saying.
No, I know, dude. I mean, what was that? 20 some films deep. I mean, that's definitely saying something.
A lot,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
The soundtrack is unbelievable, like you guys said earlier. It's freaking totally immersive, totally puts you in there, It
Yeah.
has those
Yeah.
great sounds. And on this rewatch, I noticed how much T2 cribbed from this movie. Like a lot of beats, a lot of lines.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe some role reversals, but yeah, it took a total ton from this movie. And of course, refined it because T2 is freaking amazing. Let's be honest here. T2, freaking blockbuster. It was so amazing, that movie. But man, I did a little bit, but I never saw how much exactly this movie that T2 took from it. Like a lot of things. So down to the end when it's a warehouse showdown, right? That's over here they're in the hydraulic press, and T2 they're in like an iron factory.
An iron, yeah.
It's the same kind of thing,
And what was
So, yeah.
T2 was this came out in 84.
Car
T2
chasing.
came out in what, 91?
92.
91.
Was it?
92,
91?
92.
Okay.
So that's like 5-6 years later. they still kept the psychiatrist. You'll notice is the same psychiatrist that
Right.
was with her in T2.
Oh shit!
When
Yeah.
she stabs with the pencil there. It's the
I
same
was
guy.
Yeah.
gonna
This guy doesn't even notice the Terminator going out. He's watching his watch.
Yeah, he looks over and he walks out the door. They walk right past each other.
All the
like-
cops are like busting this guy's ass. Oh, they're laughing in that scene, stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So,
But yeah, man, just to cut it short, this movie is a classic. It's a classic for a reason, and compared to a lot of stuff that I've rewatched from the past, this one holds up a real lot. Like 2001: Space Odyssey, like Aliens or Alien. The original Alien.
yeah, both of them do.
This is one of those, man. You can watch it, and it still looks great, man.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, love it then,
Timeless.
love it now, man. Timeless.
Cool, Perry.
Yeah.
Now you saw this movie before.
No, I've only seen the third one.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I haven't even seen the second one yet.
Nice, so first time viewer.
Yeah.
You've also been watching the show though.
Yeah,
Right.
dude. This is the greatest show, man. I have been
that show is
hooked,
awesome,
line and
dude.
sinker.
love
I wish it had
It's
menus.
fire.
Yes. I wish there was a
Yeah.
menu so I could see the special features.
It's
You have to wait.
supposed to have
Did-
special features.
Yeah, when you get to the end. So you have to
Oh,
watch
yeah,
like
you gotta wait.
yeah.
Oh.
That's
Or
the
just hit the
cliffhanger
disc
that
menu
like
button.
had me hanging the most ever in life. Like,
Yeah.
when that
I
happened, I,
know,
was
that's
like,
why it's hard.
what? And
It's crazy
canceled.
because Summer came out last year in the summertime, and she was like, "I wish I could go back and finish Terminator." Like,
Yeah,
she's even looking back at her
hard-
career
yeah, it's
like,
a
"I
hard
wish
show
I
to
could have done
recommend
it."
because it just ends, but it's
Yeah.
a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, she looks the same, man. She
Yeah.
could
Oh,
go
she's
back.
aged
and do
well.
it. It's just
42?
the kid, I wonder.
Is
what
she
he-
really? Ooh.
Yeah, she
Man, I
stopped to
didn't
take care
realize
of her
that.
kids.
Dude,
Watched the
I
whole like
mean,
hour interview.
That's why sometimes it's
I
hard
still
for me to
imagine
go
there's-
back to that show just because I'm like, just the way it ends, I want
Dude,
my
and then
season 3.
Sarah
No
Connor in the
closure.
show is awesome. Like all the
Lena Headey's
characters,
a
I was
great-
like, "Holy shit!"
Lena Headey's a great actress, man. She
She's
shows her
fantastic.
actress
Yeah.
chops. in
Everything
this.
she does, I've never seen her
Yeah.
do anything bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, she even
Mama,
played
Dredd.
that crank mob boss in Dread, and she's
Dread, yeah.
great.
Yep.
Scars all on her face and shit.
Well,
Still
yeah,
hot as hell.
what year did this come out? This came out in like 2000, right?
2007?
2009.
2009.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably
2008.
if this was a
2008.
hit, if this was
But
a
you're
hit,
right,
if this was a hit in 8 years, she wouldn't have been able to take Game of Thrones though.
True. Everything happens for a reason, I guess.
Well, I mean,
I don't think they would have gone
only-
that many seasons.
They
They
would
would probably
I
have
feel
been
like,
like,
they could have done 3 seasons and been
3 or
done.
4, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
they
could have
did
done
a
3
third,
seasons and
at
then made a
least
movie
third.
out of it. That would have been lit.
Right.
Yes. Continue. Yep.
Plus,
But yeah.
season 1 was like 9 episodes. Season 2, they up it and go to like
Yeah.
18 or something. So it's like,
oh, I didn't know that.
yeah,
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think she gives Linda Hamilton a run for the money, really.
straight
Oh,
up, dude.
Yeah. No, it's
So,
fantastic.
I'm gonna say too, just in my opinion, better looking.
Oh my God, she's a milf.
Well, Linda was pretty nice in Terminator, bro.
Actually,
In Terminator, but obviously, like Dark Fate, man. I'm like,
Well, the kid.
Oh,
the-
yeah. Well,
the
yeah.
guy,
which
the guy-
I almost blocked that one out.
the guy who
T2,
played
she looked a little rough too. Not
the guy
yeah.
that played
Yeah.
John Connor
Yes,
in
yes.
this,
Uh-huh.
the kid that played John Connor was only 6 years younger than Sarah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, they do 20.
What a weird stretch.
So he could have dated.
and then 9 in season 1.
Sure, he
Hey,
did.
so go ahead.
Was
Dave.
it some Brady Bunch
So
shit?
after watching Sarah Connor, your opinion on Terminator?
Okay, yeah. So never seen Terminator. I know the concept and stuff. So I knew he was a robot, but the whole time I was watching it, I was like, all right, he's looking her up in the phone book, and then, wait, why is Sarah dead? Why is this Sarah dead? Why is this? She's watching herself on the news. She's a waitress, and she's like, Sarah Connor's dead. I'm like, whoa, what's going on?
You just
And
go
then he's
ahead.
trying to kill her. He's killing every Sarah Connor in the whole damn town, dude. Like, how crazy is that? I didn't see that at all. And then seeing was it Reese come back from the future into the past, and then he's the one who's like, come with me if you want to live. I was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Is he the Terminator?
It started with him. I'm like, what's
You're
going
right.
on? And then that's John Connor's dad.
Yeah.
How crazy must that be, being John Connor meeting your father
I've been.
Yeah.
and then sending him back to
Interesting
the
theory.
past?
Yeah,
He's
you
never
can't
nutted
time
because he
travel
said he
kills.
was born in the future, so
Yeah.
he probably never had time to fuck because he's
Yep.
killing freaking Terminators. He goes back. The first person he gets laid with turns into the woman getting pregnant with the savior of the world. Like,
They had a lot
it's
of
just
built up.
mind blowing, you know, when you sit down and
Yeah,
think about it.
That's time travel.
Quick
though.
theory
know, how cool
about the
is-
John Connor paradox. All right, so what if
Paradox, yep.
what if like never mind, I'm lost because Kyle Reese would always have to be the dude to come
That's
back. So
what-
therefore,
that's what time
that
travel
would
does
always-
to you.
You lock the timeline if you do that. You lock this infinite loop where you have to send your father back to be born, and hope that it goes the same way every
the same
time.
way, right? Yeah, this is I like when movies make you think about that shit though. You know, you really like,
Those
all
could
right,
be like
trying to,
fixed points in time.
right.
Sarah Connor and Reese, that's a fixed point that always
Right.
happens no matter
That always-
what, you know.
And
So-
certain deviations can happen, but they're always gonna.
But fortunately, they keep on pushing off Doomsday later so they can do more movies. But
Yeah,
Right.
Go ahead, Pig. Keep on going. So it's all right. Go ahead.
My bad.
because in the TV show, I think Doomsday is 2011.
Right.
Like, we only got 3 years left.
Okay, go ahead, Perry.
Yeah, no, but it was really cool. The thing with the animatronic threw me off, but at the same time, it was really cool seeing like what they could do, like to the best of their ability at that time, and it still looks
Absolutely.
pretty fucking cool. Like years
Yeah,
later,
yeah.
like you could see it, like it's there, it's in your face. You could see the difference, but it doesn't look bad.
Right.
You know, like it doesn't
Right.
pull you out. Like you notice it, but it's like okay, and then they do the transition when you see the animatronic and then you see Arnold, and it's like it's so smooth the way they
Yeah.
do these
That's
things. You know?
practical
Yeah.
effects, baby.
Yeah,
Practical
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
yeah, every time. It's just really cool
That's why-
seeing that, you know.
That's why you watch the prequels of Star Wars, and you're like, God damn, can Lucas do an update on these like he did the old? But
He
you
might
watch-
have to, bro. He
Yeah.
might have to.
seriously, I'm
He needs to
telling
stop
you,
tinkering with the
Pull out
OGs.
those old
out
files.
of it.
Yeah.
Update that.
It's just
Yes.
so dated at this point.
I say just take. I want to just see the original,
Especially
77
Phantom
movie
Menace, bro.
released. Give me that, please.
Right? The original.
The original.
original.
Oh yeah, the original cut. Yeah.
But
Robbie says that he has his sets that he
VHS.
owns. I don't, not the VHS. He just owns like a special edition set that has the original cuts. I
yeah, but
always
they're
wanted
not.
it.
They're not. The only time they ever came out was on a laser disc. So they took copies off a laser disc, but they're not. They're not
that good.
that good.
You
What
know,
What
They-
about like
really doesn't matter.
VHS?
The movies aren't
They-
gonna,
They look like between
I could have
VHS
sworn
and
that
DVD.
they released the edited version, like the redone versions, and the original versions in
No.
one shot, but they were like gone, and they didn't reprint them or anything.
Mm.
Robbie
No.
always
No.
tries to tell you. We'll have to ask Robbie because he always
Yeah.
says his set has both
I
They,
versions.
could've sworn
I don't know.
they do, but the one that's on the disc is only like it's not in a
Like a very like a bad
it's very-
transfer.
We're talking about DVD too, yeah, not
Yeah,
Blu-ray
that's
or
it, yeah.
anything. We're talking about
Yeah.
DVD.
Right.
That's what I was saying because I have them all on like Steelbook. Well, I have them like all on Steelbook. You would think they'd
So Perry, what did you think of this Sarah Connor versus the TV Sarah Connor?
So it's funny. In the TV show, in the first episode, she's getting engaged, right? And then she goes in the future, and the guy she's getting engaged with gets remarried or with a new girl.
Right.
That new girl looks exactly identical to this Sarah Connor in the movie.
Mm.
I thought it was the same
Mm.
actress at first.
No.
It blew my mind away how exactly the same they look. But no, I like her as Sarah Connor. She's cool, but the TV show, man, I can't remember her name. She killed it, dude. Like
so you
that.
haven't seen T2 either?
Yeah. That's
Oh,
the
wow.
comparison you gotta make.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
cannot wait till you
Yeah.
see
We
I
might-
want
we
to see
might-
that
we
because
might-
she looks different at the end of the movie. She looks badass. She got the German
We might-
Shepherd.
we might
She's in the
do
Jeep.
that one in March,
What?
maybe. Come
Oh,
on.
she's like an extreme badass in
Is
T2,
she?
bro. Yes.
Yeah, T2, she
Yes.
ups it. Yeah, big time.
yeah they bring her up
Did
to Ripley
Lena
level
Headey
in that.
base her
Oh,
performance
okay.
on T2?
On T2, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sarah
Yeah,
Connor,
T2. She trained for that. You could see her lifting weights and stuff. She was
Yeah,
bulk.
yeah,
She was all bulking.
That's
And
cool.
her
I
voice
like
was
seeing the
raspy, too.
progression of her. Like
Right.
she was always filled with like self-doubt in this movie, and then
Yep.
towards like the very end, she started gaining a little bit of confidence. Get up, soldier, let's go. I was like,
Yeah.
oh shit, she pulled that shit out of nowhere, dude. Like
Yeah.
she's like starting to fucking get it, you know?
Well, I
Oh,
tell
wait
you,
till you
just to
watch
let-
T2 then.
Well, just to let you know, there was 2 or 3 deleted scenes that showed her getting up to that point, and they cut them.
Okay.
If you watch the,
I want to.
DVD,
Yeah, I
watch
want to
the
get the
scenes,
Blu-ray because I want
They
to.
cut it.
See
There's a few
those.
scenes where she's with Rice, like almost ordering him around. With
Another
Reese,
thing,
but
I can't believe they haven't done a 4K for T1. They just have one for T2.
they haven't done any 4Ks for James Cameron movies.
Just T2. They've
And,
done
and,
T2.
and it's I know it's terrible. It's
Oh, it is. I thought you
It's
told
the
me that
worst.
was a good one. You might. I
horrible.
must have.
Horrible.
Do I need to get a-
That's probably why I haven't bought it then.
I'm gonna get an OLED TV this year. That's my goal for this year.
Nice.
It's like $1,600, but I'm gonna save
More
up
than
for
that,
it.
probably.
Should I do Blu-rays still, or should I try doing
You can
4K?
do Blu-rays.
Oh, no,
bro.
good-
You
well,
do
good.
Blu-rays because they upscale the TVs, upscale them sometime to 4K.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'm
but
cool with
don't
the
worry
Blu-ray.
about it
4Ks
looking
are
too
worth it,
much
though.
worse.
But 4Ks
Yeah.
look a lot better with it all.
The 4Ks look so good.
There's
It's
no-
just,
there's
there's
no
certain
comparison.
ones that aren't that good because
Okay.
they're getting better and better. Like
No, there's
they did an old
no
Halloween
comparison with it.
4K, like from Miramax. It's terrible. Then you get the Scream Factory, and it's fucking gorgeous, dude. Like there's like if you get 4Ks, you gotta hit me and Scarpad up, and we'll
I'll
show
make
you
sure
the
I'll run it. I'll run it by the group chat. I'm like, hey guys,
I'm
thinking about
dude,
getting
It's
this.
all about,
There's
it's all about
ones-
color with 4K. You get the
there's, like,
higher
older
definition
movies.
of color.
Higher,
Yeah,
higher.
there's
Yeah.
not
Deeper,
that much.
richer.
Right.
There's only a handful of 4Ks that are terrible. The majority of them are good. So
because like old movies that get like real 4K transfers, it
Mhm.
just it just brings them out again, and you're just like, oh my god, it's like the first
yeah,
time.
you know what's
watching
amazing, and
Oh.
I thought too when you think about geez, a 4K movie, it's black and white. How good can it look? Fucking get the 4K on Psycho. That thing's amazing.
Oh,
how
that's
good
one
that
I still
looks.
need, dude.
You know, it's
Yeah,
a beautiful
it's
movie.
amazing.
The Mad Max Fury Road and Logan, the black and white versions are
Yeah.
fucking gorgeous.
Phenomenal.
That's
Get
everyone
Wizard
raves
of Oz in
about.
4K. Wizard of Oz in 4K
Yeah,
will blow
beautiful.
your mind.
Really?
The
Yeah.
colors
I was,
are so
dude, I was
fucking
watching
movie.
Dark Crystal in
Unbelievable.
4K.
Oh, Dark
Incredible,
Crystal's
man.
gorgeous.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So
You guys are naming just some beautiful movies.
Dude, like I'm
Yeah.
telling, that's why like I've been going down a 4K rabbit hole this past year, man. Because at
Yeah.
first I would just get a couple here and there, and then it's like, dude, they've been doing such like I feel like this year they've really been putting out some good shit. man.
last
Starting
night I watched Top Gun Maverick in 4K. The sound on that
gorgeous.
thing.
I'm sure that was
absolutely
yeah.
blow you out of the room.
I still kind of
I
want to
believe
watch.
it.
They remastered Top Gun in 4K.
Yeah, I got it.
I
It's
don't
good.
know. I
It's
was
good.
never big on that
Maverick's a
one.
lot better than Top
Maverick's
Gun,
a lot
personally.
Yeah.
I never
I haven't
was
seen
that
Maverick.
big
I like
on
Top
the
Gun,
first
though.
Me neither.
It's solid, yeah. I don't
It's
hate it.
okay.
Solid
It's,
film,
it's
yeah.
pretty good,
Yeah.
but it's not the best.
YouTube
thought
took
Matt-
down my Top Gun reaction. Fuck
My
you,
wife
YouTube.
used to hate that song, and every time in the movie it came out with the do 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 do, you feel like blowing your head off. It's so bad.
It makes me want to play volleyball.
So go ahead, Dylan.
Right.
Dylan, you're up, baby. What do you think? Give us your opinion.
I got you. Oh, but a good one too is Lost Boys on 4K, Poltergeist on 4K,
Poltergeist.
Ooh.
Oh.
Gladiator.
Gladiator.
Gladiator on
Ooh.
4K.
Oh,
Love
yeah.
Gladiator.
All right, so go ahead, Dylan. This movie. What do you think?
I got you. No more talk about 4K. Yeah, but
You got
you,
4K screen.
as you said, movie's great, man. I mean, absolutely fantastic. Y'all hit the nail on it. I mean, I grew up loving Terminator. Just as Fable and Steph know, you know what I mean? Like Arnold, Stallone, and
Yeah.
you know, those were like
Arnold,
the two dudes. You know, you had Van Damme, but he was in like the B
Where are the
category
action
where
heroes?
Yeah.
Stallone and
Yeah.
Where
Schwarzenegger
are the
were
Jason
like
Statham.
the A guys, bro.
Well, Schwarzenegger was the
Every-
king of Hollywood, bro.
And
at one point. He
Stallone
was the
turned
rock.
this
Straight
movie
up.
down.
I mean,
Yo.
Mayor.
Yeah.
It's
Stallone
just,
turned this down. He was going to be
did
the
he? I
yeah,
mean, honestly, though,
Stallone
like,
and Gibson
I don't
turned
think
it down.
for what they
Mad
want
Max,
out of the
Rambo.
character, I don't think
You needed
anybody can
Arnold.
pull it off like
Yeah,
Arnold. can.
Arnold. Dude, when you first see
He
him,
sold
it's
it.
like peak male physique. He's butt
Yes.
They
Bro,
should
you're like,
the
who
city.
is this fucking
There, it's
chisel?
just like how it's like if you could make a perfect robot.
Perfect
Arnold
human
Schwarzenegger.
specimen.
That
you
would
know?
be it, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like this dude is literally
Just
top
muscles
notch.
coming out the ass, you know?
When he
Dude.
lifts the guy, you believe that shit that he could just lift him off the fucking ground like it
Right.
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Punch him
anything,
through
you
his
know,
gut.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems
No, he's
very
wearing that
feasible.
army jacket, and he looks freaking wide as hell. He's like,
Yeah.
Yo,
That's what, and that's the
fucking
one.
football player.
I love the leather jacket in T2, but I love his look in T1, man.
Yeah, the
Like, I
army
don't
jacket,
just
yeah.
like maybe they're different vibes where he's going for like the more badass, like cool vibe in T2 motorcycle ride, even though he does ride a motorcycle in this. It's just in this one, I guess with the scary factor, he just looks like it's kind of like a jean jacket with the spikes on the back.
Yeah.
It just looks so good.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, the thing is, too, T2, they added a lot of humor, and they needed to. This one, there's not a lot of humor in this movie.
Definitely.
So.
Because you got in that,
It's a horror.
it's Arnold and what's his name?
Edward Furlong.
Young John
Edward
Connors.
Yeah.
What's his name in real life?
Edward
Oh, so we
Furlong.
see John
Edward
Connor in
Furlong.
the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she's pregnant with him now.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, because you got them, and then Sarah kind of takes the back end of it, even though this is where she kind of comes out into her badass moment. But yeah, I've always, like I said about in the beginning, I grew up watching T2 and T3, and then when I'd gotten the PSP and saw this, man, it was just a fun ass trilogy, and at least an incredible double feature with T1 and T2. And I just always love these, man. It's just the style of this film is just so unique. It's you don't get nothing like it after it, because obviously T2 is just a little bit of a different vibe, that dark grunginess. Like I said, with how he looks with his jacket, I think that just all fits into the vibe that they're going for. I mean, it was made in the 80s, so you get that punk like rocker vibe, like especially those
Great
guys
80s,
who beats
yeah.
up at the beginning. We
Blue
take
hair
the
and
guys
shit,
from-
yeah.
yeah, man. It's just that street punk rocker vibe, and
Right.
it's so dark at times, but it's not like you don't see anything. It's a very grungy look, man.
No, I agree. That's what I love about this. Like that ties into me when I said earlier, this is a unique film of his, because it's nice to see that he could do something other, because he's so epic in scope now.
Yeah,
like it's nice to see that if he if he wanted to, he could still do something that's more gritty and darker, and it's just cool.
But what a wide difference in the endings. In this one, we're rooting for Sarah Connor when she goes fuck her and she squishes his head.
You're Terminator.
You're Terminator fucker. And in the second movie, you kind of crying when he's giving the thumbs up. Going
Bro,
into the
that killed me as a
Yeah.
kid, bro. I was like, don't go in there.
Don't ruin it.
Oh shit! My bad.
Come on, the movie's been out for 40
I
fucking
forgot.
years here, guys. Sorry.
I forgot. No, I still that's
It's
a powerful
crazy
moment.
that flip you get though, because
You
in a way,
flip the script very well.
yeah, and like you said, you make it. They feel for him, even though like I saw that one first, then I go back and see that he was the bad guy. It was always a flip for me, just because I was like, whoa. I was like, but they do mention that he came and tried to kill her at one point.
Right.
Just kind of always flew past me, and I was just thinking
Same
that
here.
was just something that they never touched on until I saw the movie, and I was like, oh shit, man.
He really did get.
Yeah, bro. I was like, he was coming after that bitch. But with Linda Hamilton, she's great in this. They try to pretty her up a little bit in it. You get the guy who plays the father. What is his name?
Shit. I always forget
The
this.
father.
Kyle Reese. What's his name?
Kyle
in real
Reese,
life?
Michael Bean.
or
Michael
something.
B. Yeah.
It was
I
Navy
thought
SEALs.
the movie was going to end with Kyle Reese capturing Arnold and then reprogramming him to be good. Because I've
be the
always seen him as a
protector.
good guy. Yeah, that's why I was waiting to happen, and it just never happened.
Well, they hint at
That'd be kinda
T2
dope.
something like that he does get reprogrammed.
Yeah, because I think John
Yeah,
is the one who
adult
reprograms.
John or something.
Right.
Yeah, and because he reprogrammed this chick too when he sent her back.
Yeah.
Actually, Linda Hamilton looked pretty good in T1.
Oh, so you-
she
you
had regular
gotta-
hair, not the 80s hair.
You kind of gotta watch T2 like tonight, my friend, because
Straight up do,
You watch
T1,
it.
Straight up do.
a lot
Tell
of
the
stuff
lady you
gets
got
paid
planned.
off in T2.
I got her hooked
A lot
on
of,
Sarah Connor too.
Yeah, and then Sarah Connor Chronicles is like a direct
so good.
sequel to T2.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
like,
Is it really? Okay.
Yeah. That's why honestly you watch T2 and then continue your Sarah Chronicles journey, bro. I'm
watch-
telling
you
you
watch
will
that
not
with
be disappointed.
You're watching Sarah Connor with your mom? Did you like it?
She loves it.
Yeah, what a good experience.
It was good for her. All right, so are you all set doing that? Is everything else say?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say the music is absolutely fantastic. I feel like the music in this is better than any of the other ones. It just hits that
Well,
vibe.
T2 is pretty good
dark
too.
tone a little bit more. No, not to say that
Yeah.
T2 is bad or anything. I'm just saying
It's a unique vibe
I like
from this
this
one.
They're
score
different movies.
better.
They're different
Yeah.
movies with the same subject matter, but the tones are totally different.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. Which that's just an opinion of matter. Honestly, some people probably would say T2 it might be better, but I
Same
just
guy.
I like the vibe of this.
Oh, was it the same dude?
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah, it's the bad
Wow,
came
I'm
back
gonna have
this
to look
film.
into this cat.
Bad
Oh, I
thing,
like T2 better than this film, but this film is still iconic.
Oh,
Hell
for
yeah.
sure.
As
Hell yeah.
T2 is
a little
too.
more
T2
rewatchable.
became iconic as well. So
Yeah,
they're
I would say
iconic in
this is
their own
very
way.
watchable though.
Yeah.
Yo,
All
and
right, so
then,
let's talk about then I guess cinematography and your favorite scenes, and we'll rate it. I guess for me, my favorite scene in the movie, believe it or not, I think is the ending. I love the ending. It's a downbeat ending. Man, it hits. You know, when she's there and the kid takes the picture that inevitably Kyle Reese would have in the future, and the same picture that she gives Kyle that he ends up getting destroyed, and she looks at that and she says the storm's coming. That ending, I think they just nailed it. It felt good. The music. Other than that, yeah, the cop scene, you know, all the rampage at the police station is always one of my favorite scenes. I hate to say that, but it's just such a
it's a great scene.
great scene.
Some decent car chases too.
Oh,
I
great
mean,
car
Yeah.
chases.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of them. Yeah.
But yeah, I just you know, there's just so many good things in this movie that it's hard to pick any one. And the ending chase, I think, is great. You know, through the factory. So that would be my favorite. So what's your favorite scene? Favorite character? I would have to say my favorite character in the movie is probably going to be. I like Kyle Reese. I'm gonna give it to Kyle Reese. I really think he. You know, he wasn't the star of the movie, so it was a tough role for him. But I tell you, he was good in it. I bought him as a guy from the future, so I like Kyle Reese. And of course, you know, without saying Terminator, Arnold's always good. So, what do you think, Steph? Your favorite character, favorite scene, and
Favorite scene? Oh, rating 2?
Yeah, I'll give my
Okay.
rating. Yeah, obviously, I think T2's a little bit better movie and a better made film. But I'd give this one a 4.5. I think it's a great 80s
Disappointed in
horror
you,
sci-fi
Scarpad.
movie.
What's
that?
You
That's
let me
fair,
down, bro.
that's fair.
Nah, I was just
4.5.
Solid.
I'd probably give T2 a 5.
Yeah.
But this is I would say 4.5. It's a great movie. Go ahead, Steph.
solid, bro. Oh yeah.
My favorite scene, I really like the club scene. Right before shit pops off and shit. You know, you got Kyle Reese in there. She's already creeped out by him because he's been stalking her throughout the day. Then when you see the Terminator coming at that bitch, you're like, oh my God, what's about to happen? You know something's gonna happen, but you just don't know when or how it's gonna happen.
Yeah, at that point you don't know he's a robot yet. So when he hits him 3 times with the shotgun and then he gets up, then
like,
you
what
know.
the shit? Yeah. But
That's
the dread, the paranoia, because I am a little introverted, so I don't like to be around big groups of people to begin with. So like just her being in the club and she's already feeling weird. The sense of dread is so palpable for that scene,
Right.
and I really love it because it just.
I think that
shit pops off.
That scene makes it like
No,
a
no.
horror film because she's on the phone with the police and he's like, stay in a public place. Nothing will happen to you there. You're safe.
Right.
And then shit goes left.
Well, the thing is, at that point, he's killed all the Sarah Connors. He's killed her best friend, boyfriend, and her mother. Her mother's dead too.
Rest in peace, Mama Connor.
Go ahead.
But no, that's just and how I feel like that's the transition from like horror to sci-fi right there, and they just did it so beautifully and the sense of dread throughout the entire scene is great. Favorite character, I'm gonna have to give it to Arnold. Easy, bro. Like when you say that they almost chose Mel Gibson and Stallone, I get it because Rambo, Mad Max. Like I see what they're trying to go for this this killer, savage killer, but no one could have done it like Stallone.
Oh, you mean Schwarzenegger? And the studio.
Imagine Stallone. I'll be back.
Yeah, the studio was not sold on and did not want Schwarzenegger. They did not want him.
It reminds me of Drive because of if you've ever seen Drive, Ryan Gosling has very little dialogue. That's why I made a joke yesterday in the back chat saying Ryan Gosling was watching a lot of Terminator when he was filming Drive because his approach is so similar, and he gets better in Terminator 2, but the lack of dialogue and just his mannerisms throughout this film, like it helps you know something's up with him from the jump. You just don't know until he gets shot in the club that he's a fucking robot. But just how Arnold conveys himself throughout the beginning of the film up to that point, it's just masterful, man. Like he just added so much to it that I don't think Gibson or Stallone could have brought to that role.
He couldn't really talk. He really couldn't speak much English at the time either. Like that's another reason why I think they kept him mute so much.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
he did the Conan movies before then, you know.
Yeah,
They were before
okay.
these.
Okay.
But it
Even
makes sense. Like,
those
why
didn't
would a
really
killer
talk that
robot
much.
talk?
Right.
He wouldn't have no any need. Yeah, he's got to
And you
say
think
what
about
needs
it
to be
too,
said.
what this movie I think did too, it started the whole tagline. The "I'll be back" started the whole thing with movies having "Make My Day" and all that other stuff. Before
about that line.
the James Bond ones had kind of like taglines, but not too many other movies
James
did.
Bond.
Yeah.
What was more memorable? Did I'll be back in T2 or did it start from Terminator
No,
1? Because I felt like
I'll be
okay.
back. I mean, he said, "I'll be
Okay.
back." He came back. He smashed the place through with a car. I mean,
But just I feel but he said it. He kind of said it in a different
Oh,
way.
God.
I feel like the way people
Yeah,
say
he said
it
it different.
is from
Yeah.
T2. Is
Right.
that's
Well,
the
T2 is the you know like the nostalgia.
Right.
Way of saying it. Like, oh
I'll be
yeah,
back. Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That was Hasta La Vista, baby. Was that T2?
That was T2.
Oh,
Yeah.
T2, okay.
Hasta la vista, baby. But
Yeah, Kevin's watching it tonight. He's got to watch it.
it's so worth it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give this one a 5. Easy 5. I can see why you give it 4.5. That's not bad at all. But just what it was done, how it was done, what the scope of it for the genre blend, the fact that it came out in 84, the fact that I've watched it twice in the last 2 days, I think says a lot about the film and how it holds up. So it's a master class. And it's be cool to see a master storyteller filmmaker. This is where he did Piranha. I didn't know that before this, but this is where he gets going, gains his momentum.
Yeah.
So
he gets noticed right after this. This is where Hollywood starts calling, like, can you come over here and make this Aliens
we got some
movie?
ideas.
We're trying to reboot Aliens. We saw Terminator, it was pretty good.
I like Aliens better than Alien, by the way. I know might be a
It's a
I like the
different type of
first
movie.
one, Alien. I like Alien.
They're different.
It's a
They
different
are.
type of movie.
Different movie too, yeah, but the same thing.
All right, go ahead, Fable. You like the Schlong scene, right?
Well, I mean, there's only 3 characters in this movie, really, right? So,
Yeah.
Arnold Schlong, and Arnold.
Arnold Schlong.
Baby arm.
Okay.
Baby arm.
So I'll just go with Sarah. I'm gonna say Sarah Connor, because like you guys said, she played a very scared, very insecure, didn't know she was a badass, and then became a badass by the end. So I'll give it to her.
That transition was very.
Yeah, hell yeah. My favorite scene on this rewatch, because I like a lot of scenes, right? So on this rewatch in particular, I like when he's hiding from the cops and he comes down from the dressing room and he like laces his Nike up. You seen that where he like his Nike comes down and he like puts the strap.
In the
I
moment, yeah.
Yeah, I was like James
Some
Cameron,
Marty
man, he's
McFly
so
shit.
cool. Yeah. Like, let me strap up my Nikes before I start running. I loved it. And yeah, 5, man. 5, total 5. And I'll tell you why. I'm not gonna compare it to T2. I'm just gonna say it's one of the greatest horror movies, man. We when we talk about our favorite big horror movies, we say Aliens and all this stuff. 2001, I believe, is a horror movie. This is there with it. So iconic. And Schwarzenegger, man, come on, what can I say?
Yeah.
5, man, 5. What do we give 5? What do we do here on this one?
5 phasers.
Phasers, yeah, 5 phasers.
There you go.
Very good, Perry.
I don't know where my phaser went, but let's see. You guys picked every character. I want to say real quick. I'm gonna pick Reese as my favorite character, but how is it that in the 80s they were able to portray a woman going from weak to being extremely badass and it doesn't feel forced? And it's like a lot of modern films that try to introduce that same concept make it so like in your face that it just it feels
Well,
like.
they didn't do it a lot though. I mean, Sigourney Weaver was probably the only other example.
And that was another one too, dude. Alien was fantastic.
Yeah.
You know.
But he's you know it can be done, like, you know,
Yeah.
it seems it doesn't have to be in your face and you know very obvious.
They
Do it
did this in
subtly,
the
like,
80s.
organically.
Why can't they do that now?
It's called
You know,
writing,
like-
baby. It's all
Right.
about writing.
You know, Kyle Reese, dude, because everything this movie is him accomplishing his mission, him going back, keeping Sarah alive, and then putting the baby in her. You know, like he did it. You know, like he
Yeah.
set the wheels in motion to save the
He planted
entire
that seed of
world.
hope.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. You know, so this is his movie. This is his mission, and he
Right.
mission accomplished. You know, he did it.
Yes.
So
I
shout
will
out.
say that when I first saw this one, I was always kind of mad. That I was like, man, I liked when I first saw it as a kid. I was like, why isn't Kyle Reese in this? Well, obviously he's not going to be in the second one, but I wanted him to be in the second one.
But yeah, no, I'm
Actually,
gonna go ahead and
No, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna rate it. I'm gonna say because I watched it yesterday and I watched it today, and I probably wind up getting the Blu-ray and checking out the lead scenes. I'm
4K.
just gonna give it a 5 phasers.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
And just so Kyle Reese was in T2, his scene was cut, and it's in the deleted
Oh,
scenes.
okay.
And
Oh,
it's in the
bullshit.
It's in the extended version as
I'll
well.
have to get the box set then.
Damn you, Cameron.
Dylan,
Yes, sir.
your rating and your favorite scene, I guess, your favorite character?
Favorite character is definitely Arnold. I mean, this is the thing that gave him a career. I mean, no doubt,
yeah.
no ifs, ands, or buts about
Yeah.
this. You know, Cameron set this dude's career up, and he just went running after.
Oh yeah.
And for everything that this set up, you know, even if some of the sequels after T2, which I have a fondness for T3, but after that it gets
People talk too much shit on that one.
Yeah, Salvation, not bad.
Salvation.
Yeah,
not
that's a
bad
strong
because that one's in the world. That
Right.
one was at least
Right.
I thought it was
After
trying to
that,
be different.
Yeah.
I almost
Shit,
like
well,
totally forgot about when you guys said Dark Fate. I'm like, which one is that again? Because I almost
Yeah,
like picked up Dark Fate and Genesis. I almost combined.
Yeah. They're on the same level.
well,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta see. I am gonna watch Dark Fate one of these days. I haven't watched.
Oh,
it.
you've
I
never
won't
seen
ever-
it?
To
There's
Genesis,
6 of them.
to Genesis' defense, they tried to include it in the timeline almost like T3 and T, like it was an alternate timeline, like it was like a multiverse kind of take on it.
Yeah.
Like they acknowledged that the other events happened or like this is supposed to happen in the past, but he was referencing like T2, T3, but it
anybody
played out
else-
differently in Genesis.
I'm fucking so tired of the fucking multiverse already. I really am.
They made it a gimmick. It's a cool concept, but
Yeah.
people just don't know how to do
Right.
it correctly.
Right. All right, so what would you rate it? Did you rate it 5? What did you give it?
No, I honestly like this is a different movie than T2, but I still give both of them 5s all day. I
Yeah,
mean,
hell
this
yeah.
one has a different little different vibe to it, but it's still like.
You're twisting my
set
arm.
the
I
whole
gotta go
thing up.
5 too. I gotta go 5.
I think you were holding the 0.5 back because of the CG or the animatronic when he's cleaning his eye. We can't.
For
We
the
can't hold.
money that they
Actually,
spent, like,
I was holding a
I'm happy
0.5.
it's
I was
million.
holding 0.5 back for you fucking
6
trash
million?
and burial ground. Fuck all you guys.
Bro,
Get
you're
out
holding
of the
out- you're
five,
holding out
man.
some lost shit at this point, bruh.
I know.
Dude,
I
it's
know.
a 5 all day. I mean,
It's a
Hell
5.
yeah.
That is a
T2
5.
are
I
just
know.
like such.
Don't let the
incredible
phases
double
go the
features.
way of the slips, okay?
I know.
Or the your dick.
Better than Picard.
Don't let it go to your head
Facts.
or to little Arnie.
So what's your favorite scene?
Favorite scene? That's tough.
It's a lot of great scenes.
Man, I'm trying to think one of the violent scenes in this, man. I always loved though at the end, man, that just like I'll be back. I always thought that was just so iconic. You know, obviously it you know what I'm saying? Like that you can't kind of really mention one of your favorite scenes. There's so many good ones where he's just fucking these dudes up, but I love that I'll be back at the end. And it just set up just for the years to come, you know what I mean? So
Yo, quick shout out to
doing? Okay,
one more.
Go ahead. What are you doing?
Oh, real quick shout
Oh
out to
my
one
God.
scene that is retroactively
You switch back and
scarier.
forth. You just said a 5. Now you're going back at 4.5. I
Hold
see
your
you.
ground.
I am. I'm going back to 4.5. I'll
Bro,
hold my
hold
ground.
your
Oh,
ground,
bullshit.
you goddamn wuss.
I know. Hold it. Yeah.
Bro, I want to say one scene that's retroactively scarier is when the Terminator goes to Linda's or Sarah's house, but her friend is there with her boyfriend, and the boyfriend's like trying to fight his ass.
Yeah.
And when you know that, so he's fighting a fucking Terminator in like his boxers and shit, I'm like, oh, it just adds such a sense of Jesus, man. That he had no
He's
chance.
No,
Not even
yeah,
a little.
You had no chance.
I want to
even if he
change my
wasn't a
character.
piece of-
Right.
I want to change my character to Sarah Connor's friend with the headphones. She's awesome. She just listens to music all the time.
And honorable mention to the only survivor in the house, the fucking iguana.
Right?
Did not
Hey, he
die.
hid behind on the refrigerator. He was smart. Yeah.
That's right.
There you
He
go.
knew he's jumping out at everybody. All right, so we got 4 5s and a 4.5. That means it's a 4.69, baby. We saw some titties, and they were real titties.
And he grabbed them.
And he grabbed
Yeah,
them.
good way to cover.
4.69, baby. You got it.
There you go.
Great movie, The Terminator. I tell you, we'll be doing T2 eventually. You should go watch that.
Yeah, I'm over here. I'm trying to
You know, you
trying to
gotta
see
go
which
watch
one I
that,
should
Perry.
buy. I'm gonna buy
Okay.
the Blu-ray, the Blu-ray
Blu-ray.
for the Terminator right now.
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
The cover
you
looks
know,
cool. It's Arnold like kneeling down on the floor.
Yeah, that's all you can do
Mm.
is buy the Blu-rays, not anything else.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Shocked it's
Alright,
not on
so-
4K.
We got about 5 minutes before Robbie gets on. Are you guys going on over there? I want to hold it
Nah.
up. But
No, not
I
tonight.
like to try to get out of there before Robbie shows.
I think
So,
they're doing Surf Ninja.
yeah, I know not so not to give anybody who doesn't like battleground shit, but he's doing Surf Ninja, man.
I know. How
What the
dare he pick a
fuck?
movie better than Burial
What
Ground?
the fuck? Come on, Surf Ninja's better than Battleground, man. That ain't happening.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen this since I
Kingdom
was
of
a
the
kid. I have to
Spiders.
watch it.
Fucking Deuce
Yeah,
Bigelow.
right.
Deuce Bigelow is a better movie than Surf Ninjas every day of the week. Every day. Anyway,
The best Rob Schneider movie, probably. Yes.
Robbie, yes. All right, so, well, thank you guys for coming on. And this is what we got coming up. We got some good shit coming on in February. Starting next week, 2/8/26, we're doing Tim Burton's Mars Attacks.
Ooh.
I love that.
nice.
I love
I
that movie.
I got like dangerous levels of high watching that, and it blew my mind.
Well, you got to
Yeah,
get
it's
high and come on
out
again
there.
next week because I think Mars Attacks is a great movie.
It is really good.
And then following that up at 2/13, we'll be doing the George Clooney version of Solaris,
Oh,
a
nice.
great Russian
Oh,
film
yeah.
from 1972. I was going to do the 72 version, but I figured let me watch the George Clooney
I
one
like
first.
George Clooney.
Yeah.
And that'll be the one movie next month I've never seen Solaris, so
Me neither.
with George Clooney. I guess it's a little bit like Interstellar, but we'll see. So Solaris will be 2/13. On 2/20, we're doing Sunshine.
And a cloudy day.
Danny Boyle classic.
Danny Boyle, Sunshine, sci-fi classic. And then we're rounding out the month on 2/27 with a movie from Tom Cruise and Morgan Freeman, Oblivion will be the last movie.
Oh, nice.
So we'll do an Oblivion in that month. So a good eclectic mix of ridiculous movies, serious movies, and decent sci-fi movies. Hopefully, we'll see. So what do you guys got coming up this week? Anything, Steph, Fable, Perry?
Not mine.
No, we're off this Saturday.
Are you off Saturday?
So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Perry, you got anything coming up? Any more video games stuff?
Yeah, I'm still beating The Last of Us. I've only been able to do like
boy.
2 hours at a time because like I start getting scared with these fucking
Intense,
clickers.
yeah,
It's creepy,
boy.
dude.
Yeah, I understand last night's episode was good. I haven't watched it yet, so
I heard
Yeah.
it's really good. I want to watch
Best,
it.
best yet.
Best
so
yet.
I'll have to watch
Yeah.
that. It's a long one. Dylan, do you got anything going on this week? I think Dylan does have some stuff coming on, even though he's not there.
Saturday, right?
Friday, we hopefully will be back
Twilight?
with Twilight Zone show on Friday. And then Saturday, he has Dylan's Horror Show. And Saturday, he's doing, I believe, what is he doing Saturday? Oh, Smile. That's right, Smile.
Oh, yeah, Smile. Yep.
Great movie, Smile, from last year. And then next Monday night, we'll be back here with Mars Attacks. So got some good stuff coming up for the next week or so. Anything else? Dylan, I just gave the week's agenda while you were gone. Looks like Dylan's in pain right now. So
Oh no.
hopefully Friday night, Twilight Zone, Saturday night, Dylan's Horror Show. We'll be back here next week with Mars Attacks.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday we'll be doing Smile.
And
2022
Smile on Saturday. So a little, get your yodeling ready. Yo, Slim Whitman, man, he rules. All right, so we will catch you all next week. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks everybody for coming in tonight. Hell of a movie. We all love the Terminator. Arnold Slong. Man, is it long. And we'll catch you later.